in the last few games, and he's got assists as well. And we were obviously talking about the link-up play between him and JP, and he adds so much to the team. And when there is space, and I'm sure that we'll look through it and in a little bit more detail, but when there is space for him to attack and the ball's played in front of him, he's someone not many people are going to be able to stand with and keep up with. And then he showed great composure throughout the game as well.
Yeah, he did. At that point, 2-0 up, Palace looked pretty comfortable.
In front of these fans, how good does that feel?
Yeah, we are really happy to give this win for them, and how we played. I think everyone loved to see goals here in Selhurst, so yeah, everyone is happy.
Is it fair to say for the first 10 minutes they pressed you pretty hard, but you found a way through?
To be honest, I was impressed about that because they pressed really well, but we saw that after with the intensity we put, it was another level, I think, and we showed that we can compete.
You're back amongst the goals this season. Your first one, you had to wait, VAR made you wait for it, but talk us through it.
No, I'm really happy to help the team. Also, I'm a defender, but I can score goals, and yeah, with this type of goals with the foot is even better.
Absolutely. Look, Palace, do you feel that you're all in a great space at the minute with where you're going, the direction, and how the game's going?
Yeah, we are in a good way. When you win, we are like we win 3 games in a row, so we are really happy about that, and we want to continue. We have the derby Sunday, so I think it's going to be an important moment for us.
Well, how are the energy levels at the minute? Because you have played every minute of every game so far, and they come thick and fast.
I don't lie, I'm a little bit tired, but no, I'm happy to play games. This is why I play football, and yeah, if I can help the team all the minutes, it's perfect for me.
Look, a win here in Europe. How are you finding this whole European experience this season so far?
But we are really happy, just the game we lost here, it was a little bit sad for us, but we said before the game that we want to give this win to them, to the fans, to everyone, and I think everyone deserves it, and this is what we did today.
Amazing. Well done. Congratulations. Good luck at the weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Becky. He's a right character, isn't he, Joel? That must be infectious in the dressing room.
Absolutely. I think Max leads a lot of the chat and the laughter within the changing room, and he's also a big character for us as well. I think the way in which he leads the group and helps Mark and helps kind of the more senior guys. He's someone who really has come in and had a great kind of impact since he's joined the club.
Let's take a look at his goal then, because not often that you see defenders get on the score sheet. Actually, to be fair, with Palace you do with Munoz, but for Lacroix it's his first one of the season. Talk us through this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it comes from another set play. Jefferson throwing it in the box, and T puts it back in the mix, and this is what they've done great this game. They had sustained pressure, and it falls lovely to Max, and I think he's someone who is technically very gifted, and he's obviously hit this so well, and it's found the back of the net. I think it's great how he sorted his feet out here, and obviously took the opportunity, and so often you see it goes through defenders' legs, and if you don't shoot, you don't score, right?
It was a long wait as well for VAR to award that one. Becky mentioned it to him in that interview as well. 2 minutes and 54 seconds. It must be such a relief when that whistle blows and that goal's awarded.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it ruins the celebrations for the player. Obviously, you can't celebrate twice, but obviously at that moment it's better for him because they gave offside. So at the end of the day, they gave offside. He's now got a goal, so he's going to be happy that the decision gone his way.
Ismaïla Sarr was brilliant tonight for Crystal Palace. You mentioned him before the game and just the impact he's having on this Palace team this season. What did you make of his overall performance and this first goal?
For me, I honestly think he was man of the match. In this situation, I think he's hit the post beforehand, but in this situation, he kind of just waited there, pouncing, and obviously things are just going his way right now. Landed right in the middle of the box for him, and his reactions were quicker than the defenders, and he managed to put it in the back of the net.
His first European goal this season for Palace, and it was just a poacher's goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's every kind of attacker's or striker's dream when that ball bounces in front of you, and he's on hot form. I've obviously scored 4 goals.
The only real moment was this one from Alkmaar. What happens here?
But I think we look at it here. I think their player to look out for, Smith, kind of sets it off, and it just looked a little bit disjointed, caught them off guard a little bit with a little counter attack, and obviously it takes a nasty deflection. I think Dean Henderson's trying to save it with his head by the end of it, but you've got to give them credit. They started well, like Mikael said. They started well, and they gave Palace a couple of issues early on, but ultimately I think the quality of the Premier League side in Palace grew in the game, and the energy and the intensity, AZ Alkmaar couldn't live with them.
Yeah, and we saw that quality from Ismaïla Sarr once again. His second goal, he just absolutely steamed through that Alkmaar defence, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. You see here, we see Mir to pick it up. He obviously turns, he drives into the space, and it's a beautiful ball, like perfectly. Ball gets kind of stuck on between, under Sarr's feet, but he managed to dig it out and put it into the back of the net. It was a great finish and great play between two forward players.
8 goals in all competitions now this season for him.
Yeah, he's flying. I think, we were talking about it earlier, but with playing in that formation, being in that middle of the pitch, JP going deep, it allows those spaces for the wider players or the 10s to almost make those runs in behind, which can confuse the defenders, and especially the back line.
It's quality because obviously the centre halves comes out of the space to create more space for the 10s to run into it, and that's exactly what happened there, and it worked perfectly.
Apart from that goal that Palace conceded, defensively, did you like what you saw from them tonight?
Absolutely. I think all over the pitch, they were aggressive. They got up to the ball. Very rarely did you see AZ Alkmaar have any time to kind of build up any momentum. And that started from the back three. They're so good at it, where they jump in and they cover around and they can kind of fill those spaces really well. But as well, I think the midfield pairing in Will Hughes and Jefferson Lerma really worked well. The way in which they balanced off each other, it just, their understanding of the game. And that's where I say about whoever comes into the team, the system and the message from the manager is so clear that players know exactly what they're doing when they come on or when they're back in the team, which gives them the freedom to go and express themselves and play, and then have the freedom to kind of impose themselves and get on the ball.
Yeah, they just look so organised, don't they, every time they're out there on the pitch, Palace. So a good victory for them tonight at home against AZ Alkmaar, 3-1. That's the thoughts of these.
A first home win in European football. Does that feel better?
Yes, absolutely. Very good win, important win against, honestly, a very good Alkmaar team, and this is what we expected. Yeah, they're playing really nice football. I think, first half took us 10-15 minutes, but then, I think we dominated with our physicality, scoring nice goals. Of course, missing a penalty. It was a little bit. The beginning felt like the story of the Conference League, missing too many chances, but then we took 2, and also what I liked was the reaction after their first goal, and then was a nice goal. We spoke about it, that they defended us man to man. We need better movements from our front three, and in this situation, JP protected the ball really well, and we know that Isma can always have these runs, great pass, great finish, and then it was decided. But it was a tough game, but a very good result, and performance was maybe not on top, but was really okay.
What do you think was the difference? You just mentioned there that it maybe started like a previous Conference League game, but there was a difference tonight because you found a way through.
Yes, it was. I think it looked like sometimes we were a little bit surprised. As also on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, they play intense football, and we could see it. They were very aggressive. They pressed when they lost the ball, and it took us a little bit, with the pace they had, and then we I think we controlled the game more and more. We brought it more into the final third, and then with our set plays, we could show our physicality and scored nice goals. Also the penalty we got was a great run in behind of Ismaïla, and this is one of our strengths. They're threatening the opposition behind their defense, and this is what we then did much better. But when it's 2-0, you always have to be aware, and we could see when they scored a goal, also was a very nice goal. The game was open, and again reaction was great, and I think with the third goal it was we controlled the game.
Yeah, it was a very controlled performance from Crystal Palace, and that victory tonight, 2 wins out of 3 so far that they've played, means they're in 9th place in the UEFA Conference League table, but they're only outside of those automatic qualification spots on goal difference and still a long way to go. But looking good for Crystal Palace so far. They've got through one of their toughest opponents in the league phase with that victory tonight. One of the things that Oliver Glasner touched on there was Mateta's penalty in the first half, which was saved by the goalkeeper. Let's take another look at it, because it was a bit of an unusual situation. I don't think I've ever seen this happen. First of all, let's take a look at the incident that led to the penalty. No arguments with this, Mikel?
I think it was a little bit soft, to be fair. I still don't really see much contact myself. I've been talking to Wardy about it, and obviously Wardy thinks it's a pen, but I don't really see anything. Which is so confusing about the penalty right now. It's like, the whistle's blown, you just heard the whistle blown, and you look at the referee, and then he stands there waiting for a whistle, even though the whistle's already blown. He looks again, and then he's like, all right, cool, I'm just going to kick this now, and he's taken the pen. I feel like it's not a bad pen. I feel like maybe he should have put a bit more power into it. He's obviously gone to the bottom corner, and obviously he was slightly confused by the whistle.
I feel a bit for him there, because he's sort of saying, I didn't hear the whistle, and that must be quite off-putting. When he was waiting, he turns around, he then says to the referee, can I go? The referee says, I've already blown the whistle, so then he goes to take the penalty. Would that have been off-putting?
I think that's only human, when that sort of scenario happens. I think you're so focused in that moment that, he's obviously not heard it, and then he's kind of almost had to rush it at the end there because he kind of needs to take the penalty. But it might have just distracted him a little bit, but it didn't show, and it didn't really play a part in the result anyway. And his all-round performance throughout the game, I thought, was outstanding. His hold-up play and his reaction after that miss was exceptional.
Just proves how loud Selhurst Park is, right?
Yeah, it must be. Obviously, the fans must have been roaring for him not to hear the whistle. But like Audie just said, to be fair, his performance after that didn't affect him. He literally, a true professional, put it behind him and carried on, had a great game.
Good night for Crystal Palace, all in all. 3 wins in a row in all competitions now, and they head into the weekend with what the fans will say is the biggest game of the season in the Premier League against their rivals, Brighton, at home, off the back of a really confident performance.
Absolutely, and I think we touched on it earlier in the show that momentum is massive, and Palace are a team right now who are flying high. They've obviously had a great result in the last few games. They're doing well in this competition. They're creating a lot of chances, and they go into the Brighton game full of confidence, and hopefully they come out with a result that they will want, the fans will want, and certainly I will want.